Let's see if we can get the lighting right. Hey guys, I have missed you all so much. It's Robin here from my Alkaline Vegan Journey. Let me see if I can get this correct. I gotta be careful because we are in a new location and I'm trying to get the sun correct with the atmosphere. Anyhow, I'm Robin and this is my Alkaline Vegan Journey. And I haven't been with you all in a while, and it's because we have been so busy with putting this entire movement together. Back in 2020, I want to start back there from the beginning because the whole reset is the important part. The reset is all about transitioning your body so that you can have an optimal intake of all things. So what I did back in 20 when COVID just hit, I was in the States. I had just come back from Australia and they locked us down. So I wound up doing a 21-day water fast. Now, I'd never fasted before. And I'm realizing that the fast is the initial step that many forget. And it's the most important part. The most important part. When you completely detoxify your system, you not only change the physical intake of nutrients and how they're dispersed and how your body reacts to them, but you also inhibit the electrical flow. Every cell in our body has electricity, and it's because of the transfer of the protons. And I'm going through the Krebs cycle and some of the others that allow you to really see what's happening to the body, where that electricity is coming from. Now, when your body is cluttered with um, objects that shouldn't be there and blockages and things like that, the first thing that hits is like blood pressure. Your blood pressure, you know, gets elevated. With that, you wind up also having um, the whole energy flow. Now, I've been doing so much research. I'm so proud of myself because I know so much more and I can understand how this whole journey to enlightenment, J2E, is going to benefit so many people. Even if you don't come, guess what? You're going to benefit if you're around anyone who does participate. But anyhow, the electrical flow in the body at optimal, the frequency of our bodies somewhere between 62 and 70 hertz. When your body is sickly, it drops below 58. So you can imagine a frequency of zero is not with us anymore. So the higher the frequency, the higher you get to actually being able to experience some wonderful things. And I'm a testament to that. Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm not the one to go without food. Not at all. Not at all. But I did. I was in that point where it was a little bit of fear with this COVID and them mandating all the stuff. But it was more about, I know there's got to be another way. And I just lost my sister. To me, it's just losing her. It was 2010 when she passed of breast cancer. And it's not really the breast cancer, it's everything else that goes with it. I think ultimately she died of a heart attack, which is usually the diagnosis for many who are suffering from cancer. And I know we can eradicate it. I mean, my body is a testament to that. Within that first 21-day water fast that I did in 2020, I got rid of high blood pressure. I mean, I calmed it. I don't think that uh, blood pressure is something that can ever completely go away if you stray so far from the diet because the body is circular. Everything is going in a circular motion. If there's any blockages, that circulation slows down. It's just common sense. I mean, I know this now, but it's funny because magnesium is a big component of being able to curtail all of that blockage that causes high blood pressure. And there's some other things that go with it, but that's something like immediate on spot, to get the blood pressure down. But in addition, I got rid of 60 pounds. I lost 60 pounds, y'all, in 21 days. And it was funny because I wasn't even thinking about losing weight. That wasn't even on my mind. When they started mandating this injection, I was like, I don't like shots any old how. I'm not doing no shot. And then, all of us had that question about how viable the government was and how they, man, when they started giving those shots away for McDonald's, I was like, right, something's up with this. So I decided, and I didn't really decide, I just did it. I remember that evening, I think it was a Tuesday. We were sitting down at the dinner table and we had some kind of chicken dinner. I do remember that. And that midnight, that was about 7 o'clock. That midnight, I said, okay, I'm not going to eat anymore. I just stopped eating. I had never fasted before. And hadn't even really done the research because it was funny. While I was fasting, I know it was sometime around Lent, and that's what motivated the fast. I started researching fasting, and they were like, really? Um, People have done 21 days without eating? That can't be right, because I thought you could expire, you know, because of something. So I kept doing research. More and more people were doing these fasts of 21 days. Now it's funny because I can't find many that really do nothing but water. You got people who do, now, this whole movement that's happening here in St. Lucia, starting today, once we get all the funding together, um, it's a resonance uh, culmination. And I'm still trying to, everything is paradigm shifting, so the language has to change too, and that's what I'm finding. Because even though we say fasting, what we have to think of is we want the electrical energy to be flowing through our body. We want that frequency of that energy to be raised such that when with other people who are vibrating on that same frequency, their resonance, the resonance. That's why we're coming together here in St. Lucia on the farm, to come together to create resonance. Resonance is the key, because once those frequencies come together and they're aligned and on the same uh, um, wavelength, it's like the resonance gets amplified twice. It's like double. And it's amazing because we can effectuate this ourselves. I mean, we have on our TikTok family page, which I think is gone now. I don't know. It's really interesting the way that went down. But we're not concerned because we're still together. There were 90,000 of us on TikTok, and many of us had done the fast. Many of us had never fasted before, but we realized that that didn't sit well with a lot of people. We had a complaint from someone about the dandelion page that said that they were somehow or another got an eating disorder because of fasting. And we tell you all the time, only do what you can do. Otherwise, don't. And you are the only one that can assess that. You got to see whoever you're seeing about your body, whether it be a doctor, a practitioner, a dentist, I don't know. You got to see somebody. Don't leave it in your own hands. And if you are, like I did, started off having to research while doing it. And that's what I did. That's how I found Dr. Sabi. Had never heard of him. In 2020, had never heard of Dr. Sabi. I'm not joking. It was through the research that I was doing about fasting and how do I come out of it that I found Dr. Sabi and that nutritional guide. That thing is, I don't care if you eating meat, cheese, dairy, I don't care. You should still be using Dr. Sabi's nutritional guide. That's the good. I mean, straight up, that's the good. I mean, when you go wild on top of, the vegan options like chickpeas is like, what? Y'all know that's a fruit too? I'm telling you, I've been doing so much research, and the things that I'm learning, I'm going to start sharing. And that's the beginning of the journey. The journey is to reset your frequency, and that is with a recalibration. And what we do, we have different stages. Some of us do nothing but water for a period of time. Some of us don't do anything, no water, no washing. We call it dry fast. Then we have those that are doing fruit, some that are doing juice, some that are doing tea. And those that are doing those things that actually put some kind of nutrient into your body, they go longer. And we'll walk you through all of that. I'm going to start this series now. And I've been saying I was going to do this. I have not been on social media in about, let's see, about 3 months. I think they shut the TikTok page down about 3 months ago. And it was very interesting the way that happened, because the post that they actually had a problem with is one that had gone viral 2 years ago and had been posted 2 years. And it was all about how you can make dandelion coffee. And all the information I found about dandelions, y'all better save them weeds. I'm telling you, that's a magic drug. I mean, that whole herb is straight up medicinal. And it's got so many implications where it comes to treating cancers. I say take the leaves, steep those, meaning boil the water first. Let that water come to a rapid boil. And while it's still kind of boiling like that on the fire, then you put your leaves in, turn the fire off, top, put the top on it, and just let it sit. Now I'll sneak in and I'll stir it around and get the oils off the leaves, but that is the best tea with the leaves. Now you do the same thing with the flowers. Now when you get to the root, which is the potent part of the dandelion, that dandelion root, uh, I was researching and found on NIH, the National Institute of Health, which is the big dog when it comes to medical research and stuff for the United States. On their site, they were talking about DRE, which is dandelion root extract. That is the uh, uh, I won't call it a substance, because I know they messing with it, because when it gets into a lab, you know it gets integrated with so many other things so that they can put patents on it and all that other stuff. But the dandelion root is being attributed to curing cancer, or hitting it off straight up in seconds, not touching any other cells. The research is already in. I'm going to tag a lot of those peer-reviewed scholarly research articles in my post so y'all can read up on it. Do your own research. Don't keep relying on someone else, especially when it comes to like diet alterations. You know, we purposely go through a cleansing, and that's what I call it, the cleansing of the body. um, our reset is basically at the pace you want it, where you are right now. Those of you that have diabetes, those of you that have high blood pressure and are on medication, I'm telling you, we'll show you how to take this step by step so you can wean yourself off of all of that and potentially, you know, be completely transformed with the reversal of that thing, like I did. I mean, straight up, it's been 4 or 5 years now, and no sign of high blood pressure. So I'm like, my numbers were off the chart. You hear me? They were like 200. I think the norm, which I don't think applies to me anyhow, but it's 180, no, 120 over 80. And my numbers were like two, almost three over two something. I mean, it was really crazy. I had occasions where I went to Kaiser. Yeah, I was with Kaiser, and they would not let me leave until my blood pressure came down. I mean, seriously, wondering why I hadn't had a heart attack or something. I don't know. I never felt it, but they say it is the silent killer, and you cannot float it. And if you're on medication, we show you how to eat certain things that completely, when you go back to see your doctor, they're going to have to reduce your medication level, because it's going to transform your body such that you get to the point where you don't have to take high blood pressure medication. You are weaning yourself off, and you're healing your body. You're getting the airways, because I'm telling you, high blood pressure, because I had it, I did a little more research on it, and I found that there are blockages or constraints. The way it was explained is that you have vessels, ventricles, I think they are. One takes the blood to the heart, one takes it away from the heart. Either way, one of them constricts such that the flow, the circulation of the blood through the body doesn't flow as it should. And one of the doctors recommend, and I think most of them do, magnesium, because magnesium helps to stop the constraint when your blood pressure is high. And that's a culmination of it. But that's what our whole series to get you ready for 11/11 this year. Y'all, this thing has grown so big. We started off with just my alkaline vegan journey, selling a lot of the sea moss that we have here in St. Lucia, done real, not on the rope. I mean, this is the real stuff coming straight off the coral and reef and the rock. And we've created a complete movement with it. Now we've got 4 and 7 day stays on a Rastafarian farm. And I have to put that out there because they're already ITAL. They're already doing, the organic farming and all of that. We're taking it a step higher. We're now with purpose planting our chickpeas, our walnuts, which don't grow here, I guess, because I've never seen a tree here, but we're getting permission for that. We've got some really heavy hitters on our team. The ministers of different branches of government here in St. Lucia, who, I mean, really, how can you not get really inspired with the whole concept? We're all about changing global resonance, and we're doing it one person at a time. And that's what the reset is all about. Do it at your pace, with your own research, going to your doctors, doing what you need to do to make sure you're safe. We're going to extract all the poisons and stuff from our body. Now, it may take you longer if you're doing something other than the dry recalibration or the water recalibration. Now, what I did 21 days in February of 2020. Then every quarter I did a 21-day fast in 2020. So that was 4 fasts in 1 year and had never fasted before. And I'm telling you, y'all, get ready. I mean, you will be, because, when we go through our sessions, we're all about positivity, and that's where it will take you if you let it. You're talking about having power of mind and mental, true mental manifestations. I'm telling you, this is how to do it. Think about it. If you've got blockages and encumbrances in your body that are not allowing you to flow like you should, how do you think you're really going to be able to channel into those areas? That's why I say ours is unlike anyone else's, because they're not starting at the beginning. And the beginning is getting the body right. And I'm talking about really getting it right. And it can be, and I was stuck on stupid with, all water recalibrations. And it doesn't have to be that way. It just, some of the other ways, you really do have to, stretch it out a lot longer. The immediate way to recalibrate is the dry recalibration or the water. So I did the 4 that first year, and I'm going to tell you, I tapped into something. I still don't really know what it was, but I tapped into something. So January of 2021, February or so, I decided, people keep talking about this 40-day fast. So I did my first 40-day fast, y'all. I can't even explain to you the feeling that you get when your body is straight up like a baby. And that was the first thing that I noticed, because it took me a while. When you do a 40-day fast, you have to break that fast with a hierarchy of 20 days. That's half the number of days that you fast, and you have to break the fast, which means you can't just go straight into eating solid food and stuff. Our hierarchy of breaking a fast starts with the water. If you've been doing dry fasting is no water, no food, no washing your body, nothing touching your body. You go out with gloves and boots and stuff. You don't want, the skin is the largest organ, so you try to prevent, anything entering in from the skin. Laval Nichols. Hey, I don't know why I'm just seeing that. Sorry about that. How are you? And welcome. Thank you. Thank you for joining. I just need to document this because I've been off record for so long. I need to put it all together, even for me. But when I did that 40-day fast in, I think it was February of 21. And I mean, you're talking about 2 months of not eating or barely eating. But I'm going to tell you, it is so worth it. Y'all don't understand. I know fasting is the key. And I understand why they took that whole page, because if you really caught on and really just made yourself do it, I mean, like you make yourself go to work, make yourself go to sleep, make yourself eat and all that other stuff. No, make yourself just go without for a period of time. I'm still trying to figure it out. And it's so great to be here in St. Lucia to be able to figure it out. I mean, this place is nothing but tropical. I mean, straight up, I'm out here and the sun is shining like this, and all of a sudden, here come the rain. But it is so magical being able to go right to a tree and take that thing. That's my mango. So being able to transition from doing a recalibration to refeeding with straight organic from the earth, inundated with minerals and nutrients, because this is a volcanic island and it's all up in the soil. Y'all, who couldn't be in heaven? You understand what I'm saying? Who couldn't be in heaven? And that's what Journey to Enlightenment is all about. I don't have to do it all by myself. I have you all to come visit me down here for 4 days or 7 days, all inclusive, and join me on the horseback ride through the farm and through the town. Join me for the dive so you can see how we harvest, first off, cultivate and harvest sea moss that's growing from the coral, which is helping the coral survive. It's like a symbiotic relationship. Our whole technique in coral restoration involves sea moss, and it works. It works well. I'm telling you. Even when I'm like right now, I have Fouety. Fouety is like a little bit of a cold, and I'm out here in it. I mean, you can't help but be in it, but you better have an umbrella. Every 5 seconds it's raining, so I get rained on, and that produced Fouety. But I'm getting over it, and that's what I love about the bush here. Everything is a herb. You know how we call everything at home a weed? No, they don't have weeds here. Now I do have one that tries to travel these trees. Excuse me. It tries to travel up the trees and stuff, and it strangles them, kills them dead. So every time I see them, I try to find the beginning down at the root and just pull it. But I'm telling you, they killing trees. They create complete canopies over some of the bananas and coconut trees, because no one's controlling this in the wild. But I love this atmosphere. The area that we have on the beach. Wait till this thing pops. The idea I have for the beach is to have residence accommodations on the beach as well as on the farm. Yeah, everything that you do when you come um, to we call them hubs. They're called human frequency transformation hubs. We've got this one here in St. Lucia, and we've already been summoned by the government of Curacao and Kenya to come share our business model with them. And I really wanted my family. The My Alkaline Vegan Journey that we created on TikTok was wonderful. And I think, many of them are here, but it's a different vibe. I like YouTube. I really do. But I don't know. It was an easier access on TikTok. I don't know. But anyhow, you all join us. Come join the family. Come learn the whole process that we're taking to really change the earth for real and the folks on it. Because, things are going crazy. And I know a lot of people are up in arms with, things that are happening politically. Ooh, sigh. Take a breath. Take a breath. Because I'm telling you, those things you cannot change. Don't worry your pretty little head about it. Go ahead to what you can control and change. And that's you. You understand what I'm saying? And then once you kind of get your stride in, if you come down here to St. Lucia, we're going to help you whether you've already done the reset or you're working to do it. That's what this whole thing is about, to be around like-minded people. And we got a bunch of them. We're trying to get y'all here at one time. And that's going to be November 11th this year, 2025. We're going to have a golf tournament as well as the gala. The gala going to be the thing on the farm. But before the 11/11 date, we're also going to invite you guys to come down to check it out, like a preview. Get yourself ready and be in that mode so that you can be fully present when we get here in November. And that's what it's all about, being able to lift your frequency by cleaning your body up and then being able to refeed so you maintain that higher frequency level. So that when you come around folks that are on that frequency, guess what? It stands out like what? You resonate almost instantly. And I want this to be um, a game changer when it comes to linking people with one another who probably have the same vibe. Never realize it because you've never been in that kind of company. And I want this to be that kind of place. We've got a lot of Fortune 500 companies that are probably going to be in attendance. Um, Back when my children were in school, they attended school in DC called Woodrow Wilson Senior High School. And check this out. It no longer has that name because of whatever the shakeup was with all these schools and buildings being named after these slave owners and stuff. I don't know. But anyhow, Wilson's name got changed. But when they were Wilson, I was on the PTA, which is the Parent Teacher Association, the parent entity of the teacher stuff that's happening in school. Just kind of keep up with the children and stuff. But anyhow, I wound up doing a fundraiser golf tournament. Now, what we wanted to do was the golf tournament for Wilson, but because DC Public Schools is set up where you do something for one, it must spread through all. So it's no, and I like that because you got some richer areas that have public schools, and of course, those parents want to come in and give them all the money, but they can't just give the money. You know, it has to be spread against amongst all the DC public schools. But anyhow, we did the golf tournament, and y'all, I ain't know nothing about golf. Thanks to my cousin Jay, who's a Kappa, and we're getting the Kappa involved in this whole thing down here too. A couple of the Greeks are going to be joining us in St. Lucia, but um, I didn't know anything about golf, but I wound up pulling off one of the biggest fundraisers ever known to DC public school system with that one golf tournament. I'm telling you, it took me 18 months working day and night as a volunteer. I ain't get paid for that, but 18 months, 8 hours a day, every day, putting that thing together. And I had some really great people that worked with me. This one guy, Jack Cazella, he actually, kind of did the actual structuring of how that whole reformation of DC public schools looks today. Those guys that were brought in from, I think we had Apple, we had Microsoft, we had a couple of executives or board members from a lot of those Fortune 500 companies. And I'm bringing them back. We're just going to do the same kind of thing, but here in St. Lucia. This thing is global. This hub here, this transformational hub that's in St. Lucia is our first. It is our global prototype. We're taking this show on the road, y'all, for real. When Curacao called and say they want to check out our business model, I'm like, okay, we don't even have this one done yet. One of my friends was actually one of our members is our dive members is a coral restorer in Curacao. And I guess he let people know what I was doing. So I'm like really excited about this. And then another friend was in Kenya. And I was explaining to him about the movement. And he just so happened to be living on a farm. And they're really interested. And I think it's something that will grow globally because all it is bringing people together, having cleansed your body or cleaning your body so that you can resonate on a different level. It's simple. You just got to do it, and if you can make yourself get up and go to work and get up and do things that you really don't want to do, this is something you should make yourself do because this is the one thing that's going to benefit you long into the future. I'm talking about living longer, not aging. It's like the perpetual fountain of youth. I'm in some of the series, the videos in this series, I'm going to break down how that stem cell is awesome. That growth hormone, whoa, y'all, I'm telling you, it's really amazing. And once you put it all together, it got me checking out the Fibonacci sequence and, human frequency, truly how they're researching it now, that 90+% of area in the DNA that they never even knew about. I mean, the explanations that they're giving for consciousness. Yeah, follow me. Make sure you're following, because I'm going to go through this. I'm going to lay it flat out. This is just first in the series to give you an overview of who we are. And the main vibe is changing the global frequency straight up. Because we need to start thinking, we need to start doing things differently. The way we're doing things right now, for real, is catastrophic for humanity. It's like, and they don't get it. Yeah, we don't have to be with them, at all, as far as how they are going to transition forward. But I don't think it's going to be worth it, because one, you can't move to this position until you finish this position. And this position is getting your body right. I mean, I think about people talking about going off grid. And this one lady's like, how do I go off grid and still get my high blood pressure medicine? You see, it becomes a challenge that you ain't got to deal with. You just got to get off of that stuff so that you can move off grid. And how do you get off of the stuff? You got to change the way you look at everything. Everything is energetic. Even the colors that these fruit vibrate, they all mean something. And it's so amazing. Your intuition becomes very heightened when you don't have a lot of clutter in your system. I mean, your thought process becomes a lot smoother when you don't have all that clutter. The way you think and the way you act and the way you react is all different, because you kind of thought it through. You've got we call it a simulation, already played through in your mind, because you're thinking faster. I mean, the clutter being removed is just amazing. So, like I said, I can understand if a lot of people did this. Some people might want to be careful, because it's something about going through this process that takes away fear. And from what I read in the Bible, God didn't have a sense of fear. There's no fear that should be associated with him. So when you fear it, when you fear anything, it might be associated with something that's negative rather than positive. It's kind of common sense too, though. You know what I mean? I don't know. Sometimes I talk to people and it's like, that's kind of profound, but everybody should have known it. It's so simplistic sometimes when you think about it. Even when you talk about being able to think what you want, why can't you? I mean, you should be able to think in your mind that you want this and be able to create in your mind a path to get to it. That's all manifestation is. That's if you really want it. And that's called having faith. I have a lot of parallels to what I've read in the Bible, and I've read it 3 times, cover to cover, with a group. We used to meet 5 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock every morning and read the Bible. And we had one pastor, she was in the Methodist faith, that was reading it with us. But y'all, I'm going to tell you honestly, I don't remember. I guess subconsciously I remember, but being able to tell you word for word what a verse says, I can't do none of that. But I got the gist of the story in reading it that way. And what I'm left to believe, honestly, is that we need to get off these little minion, pinion, petty little things about who you're serving first. Because I was in a conversation where, this Putin has revealed that Jesus was black. Okay, so many of us kind of deduce that anyhow, just because of where they set him geographically in the Bible. So, but we get all twisted with that kind of information instead of really delving deeper into the overarching premise of all of it, which is love. And I don't care whose religion. If you floating something other than love, I don't consider that a religion, even though it might be, but I don't consider it. But anyhow, and when I think about how, when your body is cleansed, how you can actually think deeper, you can think clearer, you can see it it's called intuition. You can almost see it before it happens because it's already been worked out in your head, and you can kind of make a decision better with that because you have that extra knowledge. What? Kitty, kitty, my whole cucumber died. But all I want to leave you with is just know that we're in position. This is My Alkaline Vegan Journey. The company, we just got registered here in St. Lucia. It took a while because, their process of registering companies is nothing like the States. I don't know about Australia because I didn't really go through all of it there in Australia. But um, yeah, it's a different process. But still, some of it's online. I was able to get the majority of it done online. But now we're ready to roll. I'm seeking donors, uh, partners, sponsors. Uh, we're starting to erect the accommodations on the farm so we can get you all here. We're going to leave the accommodations on the beach for our next tier because this is the first tier. This is the get it started up and running. The horses, the dive suits, the coral, the sea moss. I'm taking you all down to the pitons so you can check out that active volcano. It's the only one in the world that you can drive through. It's an active volcano, and you have the remnants of it, the steaming earth, the sulfur bath, the waterfalls. It's beautiful down there. So I definitely want to take you down there and want you to check out a farm called Chocolate Farm. So we're still putting a lot of this together. What we're focused on now is the golf tournament in Gala in November. So you all check us out. The next episode in this series, we're going to talk about, I'm going to set up some videos and some other posts about the reset, recalibration, and you can kind of take it from there. I'm going to lay out, if you're not doing dry or water, how to do the fruit juices and teas if you want to use that as your recalibration. Um, when I come on again, we're going to talk about St. Lucia. They just celebrated their 46th Independence Day on Saturday, the 22nd. Weird story. When I first got here to St. Lucia, and I think I was at the airport in D.C. I looked at the ticket, and the ticket straight up said 22222. I get here, and it's their Independence Day. So I'm all in. I wound up having to catch a helicopter from the airport to where I was going to be staying because the water inundated. And I'm telling you, they celebrate. I love the way they celebrate. I got a chance to celebrate with them in Castries, which is the capital. Soufrière used to be, but now Castries is the capital. Britain, the UK and France, I think, were back and forth fighting over this country. And you got I guess all the streets are French, and the queen has her face on all the money. It's a big kind of thing. But anyhow, um, we wound up going to the square. It's called the Derek Walcott Square. Now, Derek Walcott is one of St. Lucia's couple of Nobel laureates. I mean, straight up from St. Lucia. And then last year, Julian Alfred. I'm telling you, I'm so proud of this country. And that's why the story about what happened Saturday or Friday at the Independence Day celebration in Castries was so freaking phenomenal. There's this artist, his name is King Sly. Now I heard he was going to be in town, and everybody knows that song he sings, I'm a damn proud Lucian. From the time it came on, its very first time in my ears, that was like my favorite song, right? So that day, Friday, after he actually performed, I didn't think I was going to get back there to speak to him or anything, but it was so wild. It was like the red carpet was rolled right for me to get to him. So I met him, and I'm going to post a couple pictures of King Sly, who I want to perform November 11th, and I'm going to be talking to him about that. And that's another thing. We got some awesome freaking guests that are going to be here in November. We might get him to come earlier, but I'll give you a hint. Some artists, like R&B, and we've got a couple of actors. Uh, we've got a couple of scientists that you might know. I'm writing letters to everybody. If you're not in on this, you are not in on this. And guess what? Um, yeah, uh, Laval Nichols says, "I miss you on TikTok." I miss being on TikTok. I have another page over there, a couple of them, but they cheated me out of that page. But we're not gonna vibe low ever. I tell you, me concentrating on all things positive has been such a breakthrough. It's really like being in control of how you want to feel, how you want to act, and how you react. And it's about uh, against all things that are happening around you. And I know it can be kind of messed up, the way some people treat you, that talk to you, talk about you, whatever. You can kind of put that thing aside, because no matter what, and I always think about my grandson. I look at his little fat face, and it gives my spirit a chance to kind of stop thinking about that and refocusing, so I can be in full control. And that's what we have to do. If you have to come up with little games you play with yourself, whatever it is, do it, because you control you. And people don't understand that we can to find that stress, something that does never touches you. This is something that, just because of the way you're thinking, can kill you. Can you understand that? That is powerful to me. That is just powerful. So if you get your mind on things positive, things of hope, things that will manipulate your thought from anything that's other than positive. I play the all positive word game. It's the MAVJ positive word game, and that has changed me. And the way I came up with that game, I had a friend, Brian. He was in my house. Every word out of his mouth was something other than positive, when it could have been positive. And I broke it down and translated it into everything that was positive. And it's like, you could have just said it that way, right? So I'm like, if I can do that, guess what? I'm going to try to keep it in my mind. And what it has forced me to do is to think before I speak. I would have thought. But yeah, when you have to go through your mind and change everything that you wanted to say because it was something other than positive, and you have to form that sentence with all positive words, yeah, it will make you stop and think. That's if you're playing it, seriously. And I do play it seriously, because I realize it changes my mood. When I stop thinking about all that other stuff and really focus on man, it will change your life too. So I want to leave you all with, first and foremost, I'm Robin. We are here in St. Lucia. We are embarking on uh, our first annual golf tournament gala for our uh, human frequency hubs. These are locations all over the world that are going to be popping up. You'll see, that are all about human frequency transformation, where with the beginning of the reset recalibration, you move on to everything else with people who are doing the same. So you'll have a link, you'll have your, you know, uh, uh, people that you can partner with. That's why this resonance and the uh, 4 and 7 day stays here on the farm, and being able to do all the excursions. This is the mix you want, because we're going to be having golf. And I don't know how often we're going to implement that, because that's something off campus. And what we're trying to do is edify the local St. Lucians. Because where the farm is, they don't get tourist dollars, but they got the best real St. Lucia that nobody gets to see. And it's funny, because when I first got here to St. Lucia, I was in Gros Islet, which is up north of the island. It's, adjacent to Cap Estate, where all the affluent people are supposed to live. And I think at one point it was gated, where po folks and people who didn't belong couldn't get up there to Kappa State. And it's funny because that was never, I had the opportunity to move up there, but that wasn't real to me. I mean, you can talk to anybody that I've traveled with. I'm always looking for the authentic island. And yes, I say island because I don't really travel anywhere unless it has water, because I am a water baby. I love to dive. I'm a diver. So it's funny because when I got here, I wound up looking for areas right in the town, the village of Gros Islet. Even though Gros Islet is a big, expansive area, this one area is right in the town where all the people have their shops. They have a Friday night party. Y'all haven't heard about it. Gros Islet Friday night party is a big thing to everyone. Um, so I wound up living there for a couple years. But Lord, when I moved to the farm, yeah, that's real St. Lucia. It's real St. Lucia. Yeah, you should see me sitting on that porch of the house that Simeon built. You know, plywood, galvanized. You know, the comfortable like what? Coco chilling, checking out the birds. How many y'all should hear the songs they singing? I've had to give them names because I don't really have a way of identifying them. I have to do some research, but anyhow, I've named them my own names based on how they look or what they make, the sounds they make. Like Wop. Every time he flies away, so I call him Wop. Beautiful dove type bird, and I think it is a dove. Then you have Gretchen, little, and the chicken. Then we got a Gretchen, a little black bird about this big with a red chin, and that's where she got her name. She used to sit on the porch right next to me, like bold little soldier, and start chirping. Like, is this bird actually asking me for food? you know? But it's something about that vibe that we have. All of them are attractive, even the plants. When I walk through the woods and I'm usually barefoot, it's like more than normal than when I'm with my pants or shorts on and shoes. The plants just be all brushed up against my leg like I'm really walking through bush. But it's got something to do with them laws of attraction. We'll talk about that too in these series. But anyhow, um, being able to sit back and watch my garden grow, the rain every 5 seconds, on this volcanic soil, y'all, this is a thing that you got to take in. It is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. So, starting from the beginning of the journey to enlightenment, we're going to be doing series, episodes like this, where we talk about, the reset, how you can cleanse your body to even get started with the journey. I mean, that's the pivotal first move, cleanse your body so we can move forward for real. Because if you notice, a lot of people are doing something similar, but they are not doing the complete reset. And that needs to take place first. And that's why we're cutting edge, one of a kind, the only one doing it, and it takes a lot to be able to actually do it. Because ask anybody. They ain't got people fasting, and I'm kind of cool with that. And I'm not going to be talking a lot about it because I can understand it. If we had a lot of people to really just stop eating, or whatever you do to recalibrate your system. I used the fasting, which was no eating. Some people don't eat or drink. Now, I've done that for 6 days. No water, no showering, no anything. It's a dry fast, hard dry fast. And that thing is even more potent. And I would like to kind of move in that direction as I, advance myself in the reset mode, because that one is awesome. I mean, I've done 40 days of nothing but water twice, but that one little spin for 6 days, no water, no food, no. Wow. Wow. And I got to do a lot more research, but they do say it's more effective. And I was wondering about the dangers, but it's the same thing. It's just that when you break that fast, your beginning point of entry back into food is the water. It has to be that distilled water. And y'all make sure when you're doing any kind of reset, recalibration with water, you do it with distilled water. You don't want any minerals, any everything in your water. You just want to hydrate. Let your body do the rest. And make sure you get advice, guidance, or whatever from your doctors. Many of them may, discourage you from doing it because there can be some side effects, but there's nothing that can't be handled if you check your body and know your body. Um, I've heard of some people, they just do it wrong. When I think about how they try to re-enter into eating, how you gonna have a roughage salad right after you finish fasting? That is hard work for your system. I mean, common sense should tell some people that that's a little too much. But in some people's minds, because it is very natural and organic and all of that, your body can take that. I don't think so. And I haven't done any research as far as that. I'm just talking about as far as my body. Y'all, after I finished that first 21-day fast, I think I told the story about how I had that big old Walmart thing of cashew nuts. Man, that thing messed my whole fast up in a way because that's all I could think about were those cashews. Because when I said I was going to fast that night and stop eating, I had forgotten about the cashews. And it was funny. It's good that I did because I probably would never have fasted. And this is the best thing that has ever happened to me. It's the best thing. I'm telling you, the way I'm thinking, the way I'm putting things together, the way things are flowing, I can't see that happening before I started this journey. And I'm kind of glad for it. And I'm telling you, I've gone in complete reverse mode trying to pinpoint, when do you start gaining weight back? What do you have to eat? So I've been doing experiments on myself. The experiments that I've been doing have had me eating all kinds of stuff, but I get a chance to see, when does that belly start popping out again? When it's been sucked up, I mean, straight up. I've always had a pouch after I had my children. And after fasting, it went away. But when you start deviating from the program, you got to expect some changes. And that's what happened. That's why I still got this little tickle in my throat, because when you don't do what your body requires or you do in excess what your body is trying to reject, you get consequences of that. It's kind of simple. You know what your body does not want, need, or should have. And if you make the choice to go ahead, just expect the consequences. That's all. And I'm reevaluating my whole alkaline vegan premise because back when I first started, y'all couldn't get me to eat a piece of garlic, nothing that wasn't on Dr. Sabi's nutritional guide. Simple as that. And I'm glad I stuck to that because that gave me that kind of tenacity and fortitude to just stick to that. Don't put nothing else in the way and just stick to that. Now I've done that. And now that I've been testing my body in different directions, there's some leeway that can be given. And we're going to talk about that. That'll probably be closer to the end when it's time for y'all to really prepare to come. And I'm telling you, get your tickets now because we're not including the flight. Everything else is included. Now, if I find that, like we did before, we got American Airlines to give us a discount because there were so many people who were coming. We might be able to do that again, but you all have to give me notice because with American Airlines, you can pay your ticket on time. So say, for instance, you reserve your ticket today, February 26th, for November 11th. They will reserve your seat and everything, and you have until November 11th to pay it off so you can pay it in time. So start thinking like that. We're going to get all the information so that we can post it, and it will be posted here on YouTube. We're also going to post on TikTok. I've got a little site there. I don't even know what it's called. All I know is my alkaline vegan journey. So it's some derivation of that on TikTok, and I'll get it to you. I'll link it. Not as I don't know, and I guess a lot of people would have been really kind of upset because it was so wrong. A video that I'd had there for years had gone viral, had been posted, and on the very first video on my page, and it's the one that they want to tag as being uh, uh, something against, like it wasn't true. And all the information I actually read from a script that came from the National Institute of Health, one of the websites on DRE, uh, dandelion root extract. So it's like, that was so faulty. But there was no appeal. There was really nothing I could do. They just shut it down. Well, there was an appeal, and it wasn't, they give you the options that you can choose. I posted all of that. I'm going to repost it too. It was wrong, but there's a reason for everything. Y'all can't keep letting people pull your switch and flick your buttons. I could have been highly upset because I was making money off of that site and had a lot of connections with folks who, were buying sea moss and the herbs and stuff. But this time I went outside the whole run. And that's what's been taking me almost 2 years, trying to put my own website together, trying to claim my domain name. And that's what I've done. Thanks to GitHub. I'm telling you, GitHub and a couple of those open source sites, that's what we need, because this is just something that's everyone could benefit from. I mean, do it if you can. If you can't, don't. Simple as that. The whole thing is do your research, follow up on the things that I'm giving you. Some immediate people that you can look up right now to start your research, and you should start a online file with nothing but health and wellness. And I hate using those words because it's a paradigm shift. What we're working toward now, where we're actually consciously within ourselves, starting with ourselves so that we can come together with others and resonate at a higher frequency. I mean, amplified. Come on. That's paradigm shifting. Anyhow, we're going to put Alan Goldhammer. I want you to check him out. He's got a lot of scholarly peer-reviewed articles on fasting. Then you've also got the reset detoxification. You've got Volt Longo, Volter Longo, Longo. Then you've got Peter Stamets. And I'm going to give you all a list, but start with that. Alan Goldhammer, 1M. Start with him and just getting the uh, feedback on the medical community when it comes to fasting. Because this man spent some time in jail. He was actually arrested for prescribing fasting to his patients. This is just in the 80s, the 1980s, 85, I think it was. Yeah, they arrested him. He came to his office and took him in handcuffs, criminally arrested him. Do you know what I mean? He had to get a defense attorney because he was prescribing fasting to his patients. So, there's a lot to this. Now, in steps and stages, they've allowed us to, really start talking about it, but that's because they've already made the medical advances that manipulate it, like stem cell surgery, or stem cell therapy. That was the big one that came, I'm believing, out of fasting, because that's the one that redoes all of your cells, any damaged cells, any damaged parts. The stem cell is the one that can go in and rebuild it, like the bionic man thing, and it works. I'm telling you, before I started any kind of reset detoxification, I wound up chipping my knee. I was in a church dance group, and we were doing some kind of move, and I heard it when it clicked. I couldn't move it. But that was a pain that I always had, especially when it rained or some inclement weather. And my ankle, on my birthday, I was with Ray, and we went to the Blue Dolphin in Maryland. And I wound up leaving, and I had on these high-ass boots. It must have been 4.5, 5 inches with the toe out. And I stepped off that curb, and that's all she wrote. How the hell I was able to walk onto the car, I don't know. But when I got home and got to I pulled the whole sink off the wall because I couldn't support my weight. I could not support my weight. I had broken it. And it was so clean. What wound up happening? There's Reggie. Say hi, Reggie.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, I couldn't support my weight. But when I got to that bathroom, everything came falling down. And I tore that whole thing off. But all of those aches and pains that I had because of those injuries, y'all, it feels great often to be able to wake up and not have not one itty bitty pain nowhere, anywhere. I mean, it's phenomenal, and I love it. I love it. And I'm going to get back there, and that's where I am now. I've gone all the way around the way, uh, getting all off track, basically eating anything, doing any old kind of thing, and just to see. And I guess I had to pinch myself for real because there's no way I could feel, or I felt that I could feel that good. And now I'm striving back. That's why we're going to start over. We didn't do our annual uh, fast this year. I have not fasted yet this year. So we're going to get back into the groove of things. If you've waned off like me, join me and let's start this process over. And that's what's so great about this thing. Our bodies are just that resilient, where it can take a licking and keep on ticking. But we're gonna keep trying that. We're gonna straight up do our fasting and maintain. Now, sometimes we're gonna have our little flex days because we know we can take it, especially when we get our bodies right. We can step off and maybe have a little this, a little that, but we can't make that thing perpetual. We've got to be in control of our bodies, and that's the bottom line. And that's what fasting and doing the whole all the exercises that are needed to do your diet change and all of that. We're gonna get that done. Now, it's been an hour. It's been nice rejoining you guys. Please join us. This is going to be series episode 1 of the first series, where we just talk about the background of Journey to Enlightenment, where we are talking about the reset, detoxification, a little bit about the feeding, but mainly the reset, detoxification, everything that your body is going through. If you got diabetes, if you got thyroid, if you got cancer, if you got high blood pressure, if you got any of those ailments, you need to be right here on how to get rid of it naturally. Reverse it. I'm Robin, and this is my alkaline vegan journey. Love you guys. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to get this going, get our health ready for 2025.